Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 163, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, for his third or fourth appearance, Coach Travis Robertson.
Awesome. Great to be with you, Mark. Congratulations on episode number 163, I think is what you said it is. So that's awesome, man. Great job.
And this is, I think, your third. You're a fan favorite. And Coach, we're welcome to have you on the show.
Well, I'm glad to be a fan favorite. I pay them for that, though. So I have fans that I pay money to, and then they say I'm a favorite, and it works out.
So I need to get on that plan. I need to figure. You got to coach me on that. Well, so first of all, how are you? How's the family?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic. Family's healthy. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Healthy, happy, and we're blessed and grateful to just be able to get to do what we do and serve at the level we get to serve at. So I'm fantastic, man. How about you?
Yeah, really good. Blessed, blessed beyond belief. And, you know, I think what drives both you and I are the people that we get to serve. And speaking of serving the people that are in our sphere, one of the things, Travis, that I'm getting more and more conversations every day is fear of the market and anger at the market for the extra work that everyone's having to do to survive in this tough market. But how would you coach us on that?
I think there's a couple of things at play here. Fear and anger are oftentimes linked. I think that's the first thing we need to understand. When we get afraid, the emotion that usually comes up for a lot of people, especially drivers, is anger. We get pissed because we're afraid and we feel out of control. We feel like there's things that we can't impact, we can't affect. And we start looking for something to blame, or we deflect, or we deny reality, and we start getting really angry. And so we are seeing that a lot right now because people are like, you know what? Having to work so hard. This is so much more complicated than it should be. And the market's ridiculous. And the inventory problem and the over asking of like $50,000 or $150,000, or in some markets, like $500,000 of over asking. And you're dealing with all of these challenges. And what ends up happening is we assign meaning to it. So one of the greatest questions you could ask yourself is, what am I making this mean? What am I making this mean? Does it mean you're a bad agent? Does it mean that you're not good at what you do? Does it mean that you're going to fail out of this business and not be able to provide for your family? Does it mean that you're going to burn out? So what is the meaning that you're attaching to the situation? And that's a great place to start, because in that meaning is where you're going to all of a sudden start finding a lot of the problems that you're running into are self-created, in the sense that the challenges in the market are real. I'm not saying you're creating those, but what ends up happening is when your meaning that you're assigning to it is negative, it's going to bring up all these negative emotions. And then those emotions become a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. So I've given this example before, and I think it's safe to say, Mark, that fear and anxiety kind of sometimes the same thing, just worded a little differently, because it sounds better to say, well, I'm anxious versus I'm afraid. And so we could say they're the same thing or different spectrums of the same thing. But the idea is this: anxiety is really crappy visualization. So most of the time when we talk about visualization, people are like, oh, visualization. Yeah, there's that woo-woo stuff that you coaches always like to talk about. But think about it this way: anxiety is crappy visualization. So if you're feeling fearful, if you're feeling anxious, it's because what you're doing is you are visualizing the absolute worst possible outcome. Then you're feeling that as if it's already happened to you. Then you're borrowing that emotional state into right now. Now, remember, this thing hasn't happened. You haven't washed out of the industry yet. You haven't burnt out yet. You haven't gone broke yet. All these things that you're imagining the worst possible outcome. You're feeling as if it already happened. Great visualization. And then you're borrowing it today. And then you're living in fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, concern, doubt, shame, guilt, whatever the emotions are that's bringing up. But you're then trying to create a future from that emotional state,
Wow.
what direction do you think that's going to go?
Probably not. It's probably not going to work out too well for you.
I mean, do you make your best decisions from a place of anger, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, overwhelm, stress, anxiety?
No.
Like, are those the best emotions to start living out of and expecting a positive future outcome? Of course not.
No, it comes from confidence and strength. But
Right.
Coach, tell us
And
a little
belief.
bit. We're uniquely built where you and I, we can choose the meaning we assign to things, and I can choose to assign one meaning or another. How do we start to take control of that, where we can assign a better meaning to the things that are happening around us?
So this is such a great question. And this is why I started with that, because if you understand that, wait a minute, I'm kind of assigning some really crappy meanings to this. Then what we want to start doing is we want to start looking at, okay, what would this need to mean in order for it to be helpful to me? So let me give you an example. Are you the only one struggling in the market right now? No, I don't mean you, Mark. I mean to the people that are watching or listening to this right now. Are you the only agent who's struggling in the market right now? No.
Absolutely not. Right. Everybody.
No, it's everybody has challenges right now. Are you the only agent who's like, you're the only one whose buyers keep losing out on deals? No.
No.
It's all over the place. So maybe what I need to do is start looking at, okay, is this happening to me or is this happening for me? Because if it's happening to me, I'm a victim. If it's happening for me, then there's a gift. And I believe I believe in God. So I believe that if it's happening for me, then there's a gift from God in this. So what is the gift? So now I'm starting to look at it differently. Okay, so what's the gift in this market? Well, how much stronger am I becoming as a person? How much more resolve, determination, grit? How much muscle am I building that's going to give me the ability to, if I can survive and thrive in this market, I mean, come on now. I survived and thrived in COVID. Now I'm surviving and thriving in this market. Bring it. Like, what else can't I take on? And now I'm starting to create a new meaning to it. Is it going to cause other agents to wash out? Yes, it is. There's a gift in that the better I get, the stronger I get, the more strength that I have to survive. And as other agents wash out, that creates more opportunities for me.
Wow.
Is there an opportunity to show up differently for my clients? Because here's what's happening. Your clients will feed off of your emotional state. They will never have more confidence, more belief, more certainty in the market than you do. Period. So if you're showing up with fear and anxiety and stress and overwhelm, they're going to go, geez, I don't know if this is a good deal. I don't know if we should do this. The market's kind of wacky right now. And if you're using that language with your clients, you're actually creating some of the problems with your own clients. My clients can't make decisions. My clients won't come up in the price. My clients won't do this. My clients won't do this. And then you get frustrated with the clients.
Right. So Travis,
And
this is kind of an overused statement, but what we can control and what we can't control. How would you coach the audience here and really kind of laying out the things that we can control, which is the meaning we assign to things and how we move forward, and what we can't control? How do you navigate your clients through that?
For the most part, the very first place I start on what we can control is the inner dialogue. That's the first place to start, because if I can control my emotional state, my inner dialogue, where I'm going with this, the meaning I'm associating with this, then I can change the outcome. So we have clients that right now are thriving in this marketplace and not burning out. We have other clients that are thriving right now and they're burning out. And so with them, what we're focusing on, let's say for the clients that are thriving and burning out, is we're focusing on, okay, wait a minute. Do you have to accept every client? No.
No.
And I think this is part of the meaning people attach to it. This is it's actually a really great example. If you're thriving right now and you're burning out, I want you to ask a question. What happens if I say no? What happens if I turn a client down? See, usually what happens is people assign meaning to that. Oh my gosh. Well, what happens if this is the last client? I can't say no to this person because they were a referral from this person. If I say no to them, what happens if I don't get another opportunity? And so they're living from a place of scarcity. So they absolutely feel like I have to take everything. I have to, if the client says jump, I have to say how high. If they email me at 11 o'clock at night, we're in a market right now where I have to respond. No, you don't. But you've attached meaning to it. So the very first thing we want you to do is start looking at, where am I in this process? Because you can be successful and not be burning out because you start changing what you're focused on. You start changing what you're willing to do, and you start changing the meaning you associate with saying no, setting boundaries, handling your clients differently, what the market means right now. So cool. It's a tight market. Awesome. You know what that means? More commission income for you, because every time a home sells, it's selling for $50,000 to $75,000 more. Guess who gets a cut of that?
Right.
You do. And I can't get mad at a market that I can't control. I have to learn how to dance with it. And it's like, a friend of mine says it this way. He goes, if you want to sail from California to Hawaii, you have to learn to dance with the wind. You can't yell at it, because if you don't have wind, you ain't moving.
Right.
And so we can spend all of this time getting frustrated at a market that we can't control, or we get to learn how to dance with it. And the more I can learn to dance with it and move with it and navigate with it and zig and jig and zag and whatever the other sailing, I don't know if those are sailing terms, but let's just say it is, because I don't sail. But if I was wanting to sail, I'd figure it out. But right now, the idea is if you're trying to go against the wind and you're just yelling at the wind, you're losing sight of the fact that, thank God, there's wind. Because if there wasn't, I'd be dead in the water.
So I got to come out to Tampa Bay. We got to sail sometime. We have to.
We do. I would love to. It's one of those things that I keep wanting to pick up the hobby of sailing. And I'm like,
yeah. I've got a good friend in Seattle that does a lot of sailing. He's an expert. But tell me, Travis, now, many of the conversations I'm having is also those that are thriving, but they're angry. They're upset because it's harder. Mark, I'm having to work twice as hard as I did just a year ago. Yeah. And while they're moving forward, they're kind of having that emotion. How do you deal with that?
Gratitude. I'm here to tell you, gratitude is the next door neighbor to abundance. So if I start getting mad at my success, what is the very thing you think I start turning off? My ability to succeed. I will find ways to self-sabotage, versus looking at this and going, thank God I have this many clients. Thank God I have this many opportunities. Thank God that this is what's going on right now, because we could be back in 2008 or 2009 or 2010, which a lot of you weren't in the market at the time, but it sucked. It was hard.
It was bad.
It was really hard. Yeah. Would you rather be dealing with foreclosures and short sales and upside down properties? Would you rather be dealing with, a contracting economy and a contracting market? Would that be the better option? Not really.
No.
Would you rather things we can learn from people who last year?
Yeah,
in 2020, would you rather go back to March of 2020 when everything's getting shut down? Would that be your preferred outcome? Like, at what point do you just go, this is the hand I'm dealt, I'm going to play it, and I'm going to be grateful that I have a hand to play?
Yeah. There's some things we can learn from those folks that did survive the 08, 09.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can learn a lot from
those. The people who were in that, Mark, are like, man, yes, it's hard, but it's not 08, it's not 09, it's not 2010. Those were some tough years. And it's not that these aren't tough years. It's just a different type of tough. But this industry is seasonal. It won't last forever. But what would you rather have? I mean, I know what you'd rather have. We'd rather have 3 months of inventory, 4 months of inventory. I know that that's what you'd rather have. But that's comparing it to a perfect scenario. Sometimes it's better to look at, well, thank God we're open. For some of you, I'd be sitting here going, thank God I don't work in Detroit or Michigan right now. I mean, some of you do, but I'm just saying, like, there's harder markets than others. A lot of you listening to this are probably in Texas. Thank God you're in Texas.
Right. Well, we have folks in 20, 25 different states and growing,
I
and
know you do. It's crazy. It's awesome
soon
how
to be
fast
every
you guys are
state in the
growing.
union. But
Yeah.
now, as we wrap up, if folks are out there looking for some help, looking for, we just did a study that showed the increase in gross commission income that those have in coaching versus non-coaching. If someone's looking to just get a consult and chat with someone about what's possible in coaching, how could they do that with you in your group?
So the easiest thing to do is because we've got such a great relationship with JPAR. For those of you that are in JPAR, Mark, does this go to people outside of JPAR?
It does, yeah. It goes to folks inside and outside of JPAR. Yeah.
Awesome. So here's what you can do, because we just have such a great relationship with Mark and the team over at JPAR and other brands as well, but we have a great relationship here. And one of the things we would encourage you to do, if you want to get on the phone with somebody on my team and talk about what's going on, where you're struggling, take a look at what's working, what's not working in your business, schedule a free consultation, a breakthrough session with my team. It's 60 minutes. It's probably the best 60 minutes you can work on your business, not in it. We're going to help you get massive clarity around where things are at, what's working, why it isn't working, why things are working, and get clarity around the vision of where you're going. And if we can help you, we'll show you what that looks like. And if we can't, we're the only coaching company, and that, to my knowledge, in this industry that will actually send you to another company if we think you're a better fit for their program. And so if you want to take advantage of that, go to jparcoaching.com, jparcoaching.com. That's going to redirect you to our site. It's going to redirect you to a form that you can fill out. You can find a slot, book a slot, 60 minutes working on your business, not in it. Get clarity once and for all, because here's the reality. If any of this resonates with you right now, then what you're doing isn't working. And doubling down on crap doesn't make diamonds. You've got to come at it from a different perspective. So let us help you find that different perspective. And let's see if maybe it's worth working together, or if there's something else that's better suited to help you get your business on a trajectory for a new outcome in your life and in your business. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there, and we would love to be able to help you do that. So go to jparcoaching.com.
Well, there we go, Travis. Well, thanks for spending some time and pouring into our audience today. We can control the meaning we assign to things, and we can control the value we bring to the market, right? That's one thing we can control.
The value, and part of their value, guys, part of your value is your belief that this is an amazing time to be in this market. If you don't believe that, if I were to ask you right now, should I buy a home? And you're like, I don't know. What do you think your clients are feeling? If I say, is now a great time to be a buyer? You're like, maybe, I think, I don't know. It depends. It's hard. It's tough. If any of that's showing up for you when I ask you that question, it's showing up for your clients. They are sensing that. They are feeling that. So Mark, to your point, the value you bring to them starts with your beliefs around whether it's a good time to be a buyer in this market.
Yeah. Now let's talk about that just for a minute before we wrap up. That doesn't mean you have rose-colored glasses on. That means you have a belief, and you can give them you can set the expectations of what they're going to experience, but you're still confident and it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. What's right and what's wrong are both always available. I can always see what's wrong. I can always find something that's wrong, or I can always find what's right. Both are always available to me. If I focus on what's wrong, what's my outcome going to be? If I focus on what's right. So why is now a great time to be a buyer? It's a phenomenal time to be a buyer because interest rates are extremely low, meaning I can get way more house for way less money, and my payment can still be very affordable. So if I'm looking for a home that I can live in for 7-10 years, it's a great time to be a buyer right now.
Yeah, I love it. All right. With that, my friend,
all of that comes down to how it starts here, and then you can have realistic expectations and most people aren't setting expectations, Mark. They're showing up going, I think my clients get it, and they don't, because you're not setting realistic expectations.
Yeah. Well, with that, my friend, I appreciate you and our partnership. And for everyone listening, if you are looking to bring it to the next level and have your breakthrough, schedule your breakthrough session at jparcoaching.com. Travis, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Always great to be here with you guys.
All right. And we'll talk soon, and we'll see you soon on another episode of Success Superstars.